Come on, you poor unfortunate souls. Go ahead, make your choice. I'm a very busy critic and I haven't got all day. It won't cost much. Just to like and subscribe. I'm John Stark from MacMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic. That was cheesy as hell. And this is the 35th anniversary of The Little Mermaid. I've had two opportunities to do this, to put a review out there for The Little Mermaid, and I haven't done it. One of them would have been when I reviewed Howard after Disney Plus tried to purge it from their content library, despite the fact that they owe their existence to Howard Ashman. And in many ways, at least their films, I don't know what they would have become if Little Mermaid hadn't revived, if Alan Menken and Howard Ashman hadn't turned their movies around. I honestly don't know where they would be. They owe a lot to Ariel, which is one of the reasons that I was really upset about Ariel Jr. not having audio description on Disney Plus. Doesn't make any sense. It's like you owe everything again to Ariel. Like there's Mickey and then there's Ariel. Like there are two phases of Disney, and the second phase starts with Ariel. So, yeah, like she should have audio description. You owe it. Anyway, another one was the fact that when the live-action Little Mermaid came out, excellent time to do it then, and I also didn't do it then. So, I've had a couple times where I could have done it, and I just didn't do it. Which allowed me to get it on its 35th anniversary, which is great. So, Little Mermaid came out in 1989, forever changed Disney in the game, and revitalized the animated Disney movie, which had been struggling ever since Walt Disney's death, to sort of produce classics. Even though I like a lot of the films that are in that period, they just still don't feel like they're at the same level as the films that were made under Disney's thumb, so to speak. So, but A Little Mermaid, Alan Menken and Howard Ashman came in and told the story of a little mermaid named Ariel, who just wants to be part of our world. And she falls in love with Prince Eric, and much to the chagrin of her father, King Triton, and, you know, she has all of her little animal friends, like in every movie, where Sebastian the crab gets to sing a couple songs. We've got Flounder, who ironically doesn't really have his own song, but still, he's around a lot. Scuttle, there's no Scuttlebutt in the animated cartoon, so the cartoon is way better. And Max is still here. The dog, Eric's dog, is in here. Lots of little friends, and Flotsam and Jetsam, who actually sort of have more to do here than they do also in the live-action remake. So, this is very much, you know, like classic Disney. Classic, all-time, great Disney work. It's an easy watch. I don't even know how many times I've seen The Little Mermaid. I mean, I was a kid when this movie came out, and they play this on repeat. And I kick myself every day because that sort of like historied, long storied, whatever, clamshell with the penis on. I had that clamshell. I had the clamshell one from the original VHS release, and I let it go, and I was stupid. I was moving from apartment to apartment, and I forgot that I had VHSs in a container, in the attic that I put up there, and moved. And so somebody inherited like a box of VHS tapes, and fuck me. Anyway, so hopefully they made some nice money on eBay with that. But yeah, it's a movie that I've loved my whole life. Rewatched it again. This isn't even the first time I've watched. That's the thing, is like, I could have, because I've already watched this one with audio description. I just don't know why I didn't review it. So this is now my second time watching it with audio description. My, I don't know, 30th time seeing this movie since being a kid. Because when you're a kid, sometimes people just put on the same movie over and over. You have movie days in class, you know, and I don't know, it's like used as a babysitter tool sometimes, where they just rent a movie for you and then you just put it on. So if, some sort of like truth fairy came down and gave me the answer as to how many times I've seen The Little Mermaid, if it was 30 or above, I would not be surprised. I'd be like, yeah, as a kid, I'm sure I accumulated a billion times. And since then, I've probably seen it at least as an adult, at least five, six, 7 times, something like that. So it's a nice comfort film, and it's a really quick watch. And the music is great. Pat Carroll is killing it. Disney's original drag queen. I mean, she was a she, but I mean, this is heavily modeled after drag queens. I mean, and people, I think everybody knows that they used Divine as sort of a model for Ursula, and Pat with that voice. I love Ursula in this. It's one of the greatest Disney villains of all time. So, the audio description, and by the way, King Triton, one of the first animated characters I was ever attracted to. is He's fucking buff as shit, and he's walking around without a shirt on the whole time. Like, it's he was the original Zaddy. Anyway, so it's it's a fun movie, and to get to listen to it every time. The audio description is excellent. A lot of times I talk about size relativity when they try to, like in fantasy films, when they tell us something is gargantuan or whatever, and I'm like, well, how big is that? I don't know what that means to you, you know. Um, so if you could compare it to something else, that would help. And here they actually do. So when Ursula starts growing at the end, at first they say her head is as big as a house, and then when she sort of fully emerges from the water at the end, she's as tall as a skyscraper. And I'm like, that is great, because those are real world things that people are more familiar with. And even a little kid like understands the concept of house and skyscraper. I mean, they have one, presumably, or have seen one, a house. Even poor kids who do not have homes conceptually understand what a house is. And skyscrapers, even if you live in like rural, you probably know what a skyscraper is. They're pretty basic things to compare it to. So it's sort of like a universal comparison tool. So it works really well. It's just a great, excellent movie celebrating 35 years. Thanks a lot to Howard Ashman, who's been gone for quite a while, and really revitalized and turned everything around for Disney, and deserves to have its day in the sun. I suppose I could talk more and more about the songs, but I think we all know Part of Your World, Under the Sea. We've got Kiss the Girl, Poor Unfortunate Soul. Those are sort of the big ones. I don't know that anybody really like loves the Daughters song. Is that really your favorite song? That's weird. There are a couple of reprises in there. There's La Pazon, which is, I'm still gonna give this movie an A+, but I do not need La Pazon ever in my life. Like, I've never been like, oh my god, I can't wait to hear La Pazon. But it's fine. There's the opening thing that Eric is singing with his crewmates. And yeah, the only thing that they've ever really done for this that's good is in the stage musical, Eric has her voice. And then in the movie, he has some other song that was decent, but I can't remember the name of it. I wish they just done her voice again, from the Broadway musical. But basically the same song, they just rewrote like they did for Beauty and the Beast. Live action Beauty and the Beast, where he already had If I Can't Love Her, and then they just rewrote Nevermore, which is like the same song, but whatever. Anyway, if you love Ariel as much as everyone else does, welcome to the club. And yeah, she's a mermaid. She can be played by anybody. But in 1989, they needed the most accessible fucking mermaid they could possibly find at the time, which was a white redhead. You know what I'm saying? Like, they wanted her to have that mystique with that red hair. Of course, she was white in 1989. I mean, the movies were failing. They needed something that was going to have the broadest appeal that they could possibly have ever. And this is what they felt like. there's some unfortunate sort of animation in the character creation of Sebastian that I'm not thrilled with, but kind of when you look at the fact that later on the live action version of Little Mermaid uses sort of like an actual crab, these live action versions are sort of nightmarish and they're not really helping anything. Like nobody actually wants to see the real world application of Sebastian and Flounder or Pumbaa. You know, like these things are not fun to look at. They're actually better as cartoons. So, yeah, I think people are realizing that like the cartoon versions of some of these things are way more fun than what they actually look like in real life. And so suddenly putting those things out there in songs is just weird. But this was always going to be an A+ review, so I'm giving The Little Mermaid an A+. Thank you for 35 years. Yeah, I saw this in its original theatrical release, and I'm glad I can say that. I remember because my mom used to keep ticket stubs of everything she took me to as a kid, and they're in all the albums and everything. So I remember seeing Little Mermaid in there and being like, oh yeah, okay, so I did see that. So, yep, so Little Mermaid, its original theatrical release. And had the clamshell, lost it. I still own this movie on DVD though, so I don't know if it has audio description. But it's also on Disney Plus and will never not be on Disney Plus. But it'd be nice if Disney could drop some audio description on that Ariel Jr. thing that they're trying to make money off of. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the other side.